right. Good evening. Good evening, and it is August 20th, 26, 6:30 p.m. I call this special meeting to order. We're here at the Mercedes City Hall, and then I'll establish a quorum starting to my right.
Rolando Garcia, Place 1, City Commissioner.
City Commissioner, Place 2, Armando Garcia, present.
Ruben Saldana, Commissioner, Place 4.
Joe Martinez, City Commissioner, Place 3.
And Oscar Montoya, Mayor. We are not a full commission and thus a quorum. The invocation, Commissioner Martinez, if you wouldn't mind, Commissioner
Right.
Dr. Saldana, if you do the pledge after that.
Thank you. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful and glorious day, Lord God. We come before you, Lord God, with our hearts open. We ask, Lord God, that you come into this room, Lord God, and give us the wisdom and the knowledge necessary to make the right decisions to move forward, Lord. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Moving on to open forum. Do we have anybody signed up, ma'am? Nobody? No. Okay, moving on to item 6, management items. Present, discuss, consider, possible take action regarding item A, discussion possible action to accept the resignation letter submitted by our former city or our city manager.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve and accept the resignation letter by our city manager, Alberto Perez.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Garcia, Rolando Garcia. Any discussion? What I do want to say is to reiterate some of the stuff that we said in the media release. I want to thank Mr. Perez for the hard work and the people for us that were here at the beginning and even on the second wave. I think we all saw a significant change in our finances and our capabilities and in our spring forward. So I just want to wish Mr. Perez well. I wish him all of God's blessings, and I hope that whatever his future endeavors, whatever his plans are, that they work out well. And I ask God also to bless Mercedes as we move on and make the serious decisions that we do. So, but again, I just wanted to thank Mr. Perez for his work here. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 6B, discussion possible action on appointing of interim city manager. I would like to move up executive session to discuss this item along with personnel regarding this item.
Are you
If I
gonna wanna
could
take up the consultation regarding COMB Fujarte?
Yeah, yes, and we'll take care of item A. Where we can just get it all out of the way and then come back. I'd like to entertain a motion.
I so move.
Have a motion by Dr. Saldana, second by Armando Garcia. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. It is 6:33 p.m. We're in executive session. It is 7:32 p.m. I call this meeting back into session. We have item 6B, discussion of possible action on appointment of interim city manager. Discussion of possible action
Mayor, real
on
quick,
appointment of interim city
I think we
manager.
got an echo.
Discussion of possible action
Mayor, real quick.
We get to hear it twice, that's all.
Yeah, okay.
Is it on, brother? I forgot to tell you. All right.
Mayor, in regards to.
Hang on, I think I didn't call it because back in session on the deal. So it is 7:32 p.m. I call this meeting back into regular session. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Mayor, I'd like to go ahead and in regards to item 6B, the appointment of interim city manager, I'd like to go ahead and proceed with naming Javier Campos as our interim city manager.
I have a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Martinez, second by Dr. Saldana. Any more discussion?
No, sir.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Javier, would you mind stepping up here? Oh, you want to get it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. My bad. I was going to kick you out already. So, just a quick statement about the discussions inside the executive that I can share. Not necessarily there, but I guess I'm talking from my part from what our discussions were. But we have a very strong team within the city of Mercedes. Javier, obviously, with his obviously he's got 20 years of experience. We all know that. He's had 18 years as a fire chief, but more importantly, I'm sorry, 6 years as a fire chief with the city of Mercedes, which makes him heavily tenured and very knowledgeable what's going on. You know, as the fire chief, obviously he's very in tune with emergency management and what goes on within the department, department-wide. So it wasn't a hard choice. He's a good guy. But what I want to make sure I tell all the rest of the staff is that, you know, we're very proud of all of y'all. This is not anything bad on anybody else. It's just it's good on Javier. So I don't think when we did talk to him, you know, he didn't think there'd be any issues. Neither do I. I would expect everybody to get behind this decision. As it's temporary, as Javier knows, he's got to go back to regular work, so he can't go around pissing you guys off. But he does have a heavy lift, so it's going to require everybody's assistance in this. So by us naming somebody from one of our department heads, it says a lot about our employees. And again, we do this because we know that you guys will, or that you all will support him all the way through this. So with that being said, Javier, we thank you for the accepting of this, and we wish you luck and God's blessing. And I know that you'll make us proud and during the interim of this. So moving on to item C, speaking of welcome to the NFL, discussion regarding the budget for fiscal year 26-27. Obviously, this is not an action item, but I know all of us have some ideas for the budget. I know that we talked about the fair raises. I know I, for one, didn't want to see, there's a lot of things that we still need to do. And while I know that our agency or all of our departments need some raises, I don't think this is the time to be giving various types. I think an across-the-board raise for everybody is kind of the feeling of the commission. I think that denotes that here, Jonas, right? It was taken care of in this last one. I know that for my part, I've mentioned that I would like to see some heavy lifting on the streets. I don't want to cripple you and send you off on a.
It's
You know,
okay if it hurts.
Yeah, I don't want to send you off on something that you can't do, but we need for you to look for it somewhere in here, right? And so
I think you
streets and I'm sorry,
ask if there's a presentation on
yeah,
this item.
on the streets.
On
Budget.
6B,
On which one? 6B.
the budget, if there's a presentation. Because I know it says discussion, but I don't know if somebody's going to present and then you can.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna finish my thought though.
Yes, sir.
So anyway,
I didn't mean-
so I want to make sure that some of those things are covered in this. And so when we're done here today, whatever y'all present or everything, I've looked at it, just cursorily, but I can tell you I really would like to see more on streets if it's possible, and also some of the work that we talked about in the past about parks. I think those are just key components that all of us have been mentioning over and over again. So, all right.
Yes, sir, Mayor. I think one thing that we need to hit on is we go over our deadlines that we have because we have it approaching soon.
Yep.
So I'll bring in up our finance director to talk about that and also any changes that we had since our last budget meeting. So.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. So I know the last meeting we touched base on some of the changes that you guys wanted. One of the things that you mentioned is that you wanted the refurbishing of the Christmas tree. I know some Christmas decoration. This week we met with Marisol. We told her that we added 118,000 to the budget. So we can, refurbish the tree, buy a new one, and then there's some stuff on the poles, right? Yeah, the street crossing. So that's added on the budget. Also, we added the street light, expressway lights, 100,000 on that, and then we added
Repeat that again, because I didn't.
the expressway lights,
Oh, the expressway lights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and then the replastering of the swimming pool, because that needs to be done. So that got added from the last meeting. I know I had sent Jocelyn a spreadsheet because I know that you guys wanted the contributions to be able to pick what amounts. I don't know if she forwarded to you, but if not, I can forward it to you as well. I was able to find another 50,000 and then have a contingency of 10,000 more for, whoever came after you guys decide. So that's what it was added from the prior meeting. As of right now, the budget is balanced, but I have to send it to financial advisors so they can, review it and then see if, like the debt is covered through the interest and sinking and a utility fund. So, I'm pretty much waiting on them to kind of like give me the heads up if something has to be changed or they're recommending something else. But as of right now, everything is, it looks good. Other than that, we made some changes this past few days, Mr. Gonzalez and I, so we could give extra positions at the fire department. So there was some adjustment within the budget to make that possible.
Mayor, I have a question, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Speaking of lighting, and I think this was something that was discussed a while back. I'm just kind of checking, where are we on the status of the lighting for Texas Street as far as the lamps are concerned? I don't know, Jonas or you or Meredith, somebody can kind of give me an idea on where we were at with that, because I know that was something that we were pending to get done. I don't know if it was before budget or it was going to get done after budget, but where are we on that lighting as well?
So we had discussed that also with, we had that conversation, and Manu and I were talking about it, what was it? Yesterday, and, I think where we stand is they were, from what I've been told, they were ready to proceed. That should be getting done sometime this month or next month. These are the lights on Texas, right?
On Texas, I'm not sure about the lights on Texas.
Well, I'm talking about the lights on Texas.
Yeah, the lights on Texas.
This month?
With a redondo.
Okay, so here's my question to you guys, and I'm just curious, will that be done in time for the street festival?
That's a good
Hard to
question,
tell.
sir. I don't have an answer for you.
Okay.
I think you're talking into a mic that's off. Yeah.
On that, but the idea was to get that done before Street Fest. I reached out to the gentleman. We were set to have a meeting next week to discuss that.
I mean, because if we've already kind of paid that out or whatever, I'd like them to start like immediately, if
Yes, sir.
possible. I mean, but I think we've already made the purchasing order. We've already paid that out or not yet for that project.
I don't know that we've paid that
No,
out
we
yet.
haven't
No,
paid anything.
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's money aside for that project.
Yes, sir.
Can we get with them and get them to start moving that? Because I know
So-
we've been talking for months on that, so.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're working on that.
Now,
We will.
kind of, we need to stick to the budget, stuff. Let me ask you this, all the roads that we had in here, we were given a presentation of some of the roads we were gonna do, and pardon my, ignorance, but where is that funding for for how much we're gonna invest in our streets?
So the funding from the streets is not coming from general fund.
Okay.
It's gonna be coming from, Series 2024. We do have, money set aside, for street projects. So as of right now, based on what we can use, because, right now the balance is like 4.6 million. And out of those 4.6 million, we have to leave some money for the water well project, that is, underway. And whatever we have left aside, we're going to be using it for streets. So the list that we gave you last time, that is only street overlay, that money will be used for that.
And how much are we looking to invest?
So right now we have like 2.1 million that we're going to be using from the fund. We can use 2.5 million to be able to do
streets?
for streets.
I love that.
And then the other one, and again, pardon me, I'm trying to find it here, and I'm assuming it's going to be kind of the same answer. The lighting for the parks, I know that I had said I'm tired of waiting on next year. I want all the lights lighted somehow. I'm only one vote, but I don't think anybody's going to argue. Where's the money for all the lighting on the parks?
So that one is gonna it's been some of the parks, right, that we're gonna do this year. It is through general fund. I know that Mando had mentioned that he was gonna start, like, as soon as we go through the first reading, he was gonna reach out to vendors to be able to start the process by October 1st or the end of October.
This is for all the parks, correct? All the baseball parks, not one or two, all the baseball parks, all that stuff, right?
Right now, it's been the 4 neighborhood parks, the trail lights at the dome, and then we also included in the grant submission was for HEB Trail as well. The only thing we don't have really is for Collier Park.
All 4 of them, or just only one of them has bad lights?
All 4 fields, we're gonna have to work on the lighting for the baseball.
And how much is that,
It's,
more or less?
depending on if we did it on a one-time purchase, the whole thing, we're probably looking at 225 to 240. We had a price to break it down into 5 years with the 3% interest, but I mean, it would end up like 50,000-60,000
A year? How long would it take to take out the loan? Would that-
It would be financed through the,
Oh, through the organization?
yeah, through the,
Is there enough money in here to go for something like that?
Yes, for that, yes.
Or for the,
we wouldn't have a payment for the first year. We would make the initial payment.
I remember that presentation. That's the one I kind of lost it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I apparently it didn't generate any action, but, okay. All right. I mean, I don't know. Again, we'd have to vote on it, but I'd like to see it on here. If anything, we can assign the note amount in there as well.
I have,
Go ahead, sir.
I don't want to get,
No,
I
go
don't
for
mean
it.
to get into the weeds, but I want to make sure, I don't know what the status is, and I don't want to get into the weeds on the status of this, but I want to make sure, since you talked about the lights that we have, I know there was money in there for a scoreboard. I know we've talked about an irrigation system, but I don't know what the status on that is. I just want to make sure there's money in there for all of that. For irrigation if we need it, I know we've been working on the fields and things like that, and there was equipment purchase, so it looks like there's stuff going on there, but I just want to make sure the grass doesn't die, or that we don't run into trouble later with all of that. So I just want to make sure there's money in there for that as well. I'm looking that way, but I really should be looking over here.
For the irrigation, I don't think we touched base on that. Yeah, I don't think we have.
Because we've been
anything.
fixing that for
but-
years, and we're trying to. I don't know how far we are along, or how much money would be required to do that. But it doesn't do you a lot of good to plant grass if you can't water it.
It would be Collier and the dome. So the dome has an automated system, but
Right.
it was lit on fire and we haven't been able to, so that repair is probably about 20,000.
Did you say it was lit on fire?
Yeah.
We had one of our,
Restroom.
When they did the
I
restroom,
see. I
when they
see
did the restroom.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so it took out, this was before my time, but when I got here, all the brain of the system has been burned, so a lot of the solenoids were messed up as well, so we do have, they went out and did a walkthrough, they gave us a rough number, but it would probably be roughly around 20,000 to get the system fully functional.
That seems affordable.
Collier, we'd probably be looking at the same, we have water at Collier, we're making some repairs in-house so that we can continue to water manually, but it's not automated.
But we're watering all of the parks, all 4 baseball parks.
We have water at all.
When you say Collier, I'm sorry, I remember I'm thinking of the main one because of when I was a kid, but Collier is the whole,
Yes, sir.
all 4 parks.
All four fields. So we are able to water, but it's manual.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
So I think so if we can just get some of that looked at in here, I think I don't know about the rest of them, but I think the roads is a pretty decent amount. And then, if we can see where we can find some money for those lights. You all probably aren't understanding our frustration, but we've been talking about these lights since I've been here. And so it's really important that we get those things done, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
anybody else? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hog it up, but I had those things in my head. So.
We were given a list of capital expenditures as well, and are all of those still intact, or did any of those make it to the sacrificial altar?
So there's only 3 that we had to eliminate in order to make some changes, but they're very minimal. I'm trying to see if we can.
What were they?
It was the IT, the computer refreshment, the drone, and then the parking lot for the library. They're very small amounts, so those amounts, I'm trying to see if
Okay.
we can have extra money from the COs to
Okay.
be able to pay for those.
Okay.
Gotta hurt a little.
Yeah. Denise went on vacation, lost her drone.
Well, I'm gonna try to get it for her.
want to come back and have a budget workshop before we and have a presentation on each actual department. You think it's
I mean,
necessary?
that's what I'm thinking, man, but.
Just so we could put it all together, each department a quick rundown before we wrap it up. That's,
If you think you can wrangle us, knock yourself out, but.
well, what's our deadlines, Meredith?
So September, the first Tuesday of September, we have to do the presentation already of the budget.
So we would have
with
to
the
have
tax.
workshop next week.
If we have to do something, it will have to be next week.
Yeah, and then remember, the workshop's the easy part. Implementing all the ideas we're gonna have is the main part of it.
We gotta
So
roll
we
up
need
our
to make
sleeves at
sure-
some point if we're gonna start getting a little aggressive with it. I don't have a problem. with it.
I'm actually, I don't know, I mean, I'm actually pretty good with where we're at. Has the department heads had any concerns?
I am too. My big beef was the streets
And the parks?
and parks and, you know, the light and some of those sort of big rocks, making sure those get in the jar, along with sort of reconciling my confusion with the raises. But I don't know if that's been done or not. But I don't know that we need to get into a lot of detailed discussion. I just want to make sure that there's no surprises from what we were initially told to what we end up with.
Maybe interim, you can meet with the department heads, put something together beforehand and, you know, maybe by the time we come back for the first meeting in September, you can have it all ironed out.
We have
and
to
we'll go from
adopt
there.
on the first meeting. It's the first
Yeah,
reading, correct?
We have to have the
Yeah,
first
the
meeting in
first reading.
September,
And we get
which
the
means
tax
he
rate.
has to be,
Yeah.
we have to
We had to adopt the tax
adopt
rate.
the
before
tax
the end of the
rate
month.
and all that. There's a lot that goes on between now and the first week of September, a lot. So that's why I'm saying, so let me ask you this.
Yes,
Every 1% of increase in pay is how much?
7%.
No,
Oh.
of
How much
set-
money?
How much money is each 1%?
If we give a 1% salary increase, is that 90,000, 100,000
Oh, okay. So you want to know like the
in real dollars?
in real dollars, how much money for the 7%. So technically, the 7% is not 7% because if we add the fringes, it's going to be a little bit more.
Correct, yeah.
So it'll
We're-
be like 10%. So we're talking about maybe 600,000 for that. for
So
everybody,
about-
Or 7% plus fringe or including fringe?
including fringe.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
can
we're
give you
looking
a-
at about 90,000 per percent,
Mm,
92,
Yeah.
93,000 per percent, probably.
I'll do the math.
I
600
can
is
send you
600.
the numbers.
No, I don't know why I thought it was gonna be way more than that, so.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, well, we'll let you guys do the hard part and, obviously there's still some sleeve rolling to do.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that, and I'm glad about the fire people, but and I remember distinctly when they took like a third or a fourth of your dispatchers too. Did they ever make you whole on your dispatchers? How many dispatchers did they take?
One dispatcher, one patrol.
One per rank.
Yeah, I mean, operationally, I mean, that's just kind of the price of doing business sometimes, but go ahead. Come on. Yeah, come on. That's what we can hear. I just want to make sure that that's also, come on up.
85,000 maybe,
85,000 for
1%.
1%.
including fringe.
So Chief, I've never been in charge of dispatch.
Yes, sir.
I worked in dispatch. And I know that the smaller the percentage, that's why the fire department was so important, because the less people you have,
Yes.
the percentage plays a big game.
Huge.
And your officers, I get it. You can make that up with overtime,
Right.
you know, all that stuff. But your dispatchers,
Yeah.
It's a different ball game. And I never forget when that was happening. I fought against the dispatch. I didn't mind. No offense to the cops. I've been there with you, right? But I wanted to fight. I fought against the dispatch. I thought it was a bad idea, and then somehow it happened anyway. That's my main concern.
Yeah, the only reason we put it in there every year because
Oh, you did.
well, every year we input it in there in our notes only because the amount of call I know it's always been fire, EMS, and PD that the dispatchers do, but if we're working with the same, we're not working with the same amount of call volume. It's only increased.
Yeah. How many calls
So
did
then
you
we
say you all
only-
took in a year?
3,900.
3,900.
So then it doesn't. We're not going down in calls. So I would really appreciate that extra dispatcher. It's actually not an extra. It's just getting it back to at least bring us back to balance in the way that we answer the phones. Because at that point we could have two, one for land and one for 911, and that was huge because most of our landline calls after 5 go straight to dispatch. For everything and anything, go to dispatch. So it's hard when they have to answer land and 911.
And I remember the discussion then was that they were having a problem with, since we were moving them to Westaco, that they'd catch them, but I don't think the people who were making decisions didn't understand the concept.
Right.
It didn't change the call volume per dispatcher, it changed where and the capabilities as a whole.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Chief. So, all right, that's all I got. Anybody else?
I have a question
Go ahead.
for Tom, Public Works. I know we had I know you had asked for some extra personnel. Is that included in here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's 3 additional
3 people.
laborers for streets.
Yes, sir. For streets for the street that we're gonna be forecasting this coming budget.
Okay.
Yes.
And the equipment as well that you were
Street,
Yes, sir.
street equipment, the
All of it.
paver and all that.
Yes, sir. The miller, the paver.
What's the capability of that gonna be? I mean, we're gonna see on the back of that running down Texas Street?
I definitely hope. so.
Possibly.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
We
can
got all the projects are overlaid, so we're gonna be.
We can do overlays with that
Yes, sir. Indeed. Yes, sir.
in-house.
In-house. I know we spoke with Mr. Gonzalez extensively about getting trained employees that know how to do streets, and we can get the guys that we have now, get them up to par as far as getting training done.
Awesome.
That's the plan.
All right, thank you, Tom. Anybody
Sure.
else? All right, moving on to item D, discussion possible action authorizing requiring city commission approval for all contracts.
This one and the next one, Mayor, were ones that I requested, and I just, in an abundance of caution, I just wanted to put something on the agenda that made it perfectly clear that any contracts we enter into come here. And I know there's a lot of grants that we can,
Doc, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and say, let's take item 6D and E, since they.
yeah, put them
just
together.
Put them
Yeah,
together. Go ahead.
yeah. And grants, sometimes, if the guidelines for the grant require that the commission approve before the grant's submitted, it comes here. But if it doesn't, they don't. And so sometimes we don't find out about grants until after the fact. And, not that I'm, interested in micromanaging anything, but it's just nice to know about those things. And for the most part, I think department heads come to us and maybe in their monthly reports and tell us about what they're doing. But that's a voluntary thing, and it'd be nice to. I just think it's a good idea to hear about those things. So that was the reason for putting them on there. So.
Well, anybody else?
Well, Mayor, real quick,
ahead.
if we're gonna take any action, I just want to make sure that we're covering ourselves. Do we have to vote to combine the items, or are we okay with that? Since we're combining D and E. I just want to make sure.
We can move to approve both if
I
everybody.
mean, I don't have a problem with that. I just want to make sure that we're doing.
The right to combine them, right? Or do I have to?
You can combine them. They have to vote on both.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I
All I'm doing is bringing it to discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
together.
No, I just want to make sure, Mayor.
So on my part, for both of these things, is I'm a little different than Doc. I don't think it's micromanaging. I think if anytime we go out for a grant, that grant is committing us
do something.
sometimes financially, right, in forms of funding, but also in where the city's headed. So we're elected to. I'm not getting after you. Just sat there, okay? I'm just telling you. It's our job to make sure that we're the pulse of the citizens, right? So we should be involved in the trajectory of the city. Now, and when if you go out for a grant, let's say that you all go, we really feel that we need new computers, but you feel like we need hammers, and you go for hammers, we're out of the equation because you've already applied for the grant. And then if we're limited on what we have to put in as match to the grant, well, you've already limited us more, right? So it only stands to reason that, and maybe this is why at the county I'm used to, you cannot apply for a grant until you get authorization to apply from the commission. So I mean that's kind of to me where this is headed. So if somebody's applying for a grant, I'd like to know that they're applying for the grant. And make sure that it's in the same trajectory that we're headed. If you come in here and ask for a fire truck, well, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But if you come in here and you ask for some kind of, street sweeper of sorts, well, I'd like to know why. You know what I mean? Maybe you have a reason, but we need to know that reason. So that's the reason that I think that it's important that, and I don't know if making voting on this changes anything. Marty, if we're changing procedure or law or anything by requiring that they come before us on a grant?
So what we could do is we could present a policy for you all to consider and have thresholds. If it's something that's like fire or PD, that's an automatic renewal that you all don't want to be bored with.
Yeah.
Or do you want to see everything? It's just really going to be a preference of what you all
That sounds
want.
good.
So I know right now practice is 1 year, we don't bring the commission, correct? 1 year agreements? Anything more than 1 year, then we bring, which is practice. So having this passed, then anything, sometimes we do 1 year agreements, those don't come. But if you want to have this passed, then those agreements will be coming to us.
Yeah, no, I don't think agreements is what we're after. I think what we're after is contract. Yeah.
Some are contracts, some are
So I
contracts.
think I think Marty brings up a good point. Why don't y'all work on some kind of,
Can you
bring
forward
it
me
to us?
the current policy? Thank you.
It's a 1 year contract.
so y'all want to table this in lieu of her direction, or do we vote on this, Marty?
Mayor, I make
What's-
a motion to table the item and proceed as discussing, allowing legal to bring back a policy.
I have a
regards to
motion
the
by
item.
Commissioner Martinez. Do I
I'll
have a
second.
Second by Commissioner Rolando Garcia. Any more discussion? Was that the intent of the items? Dr.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I'm not gonna single anything out, but I've seen a couple of grants that I just scratched my head on, and I didn't, but where I've had questions, but it's kind of water under the bridge, too late, not really worth it to, but had I had the chance early on, I probably would have spoken up. So that's kind of one of the.
A driving force, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, all those in favor of the tabling?
For D and E, did you make that?
For
in?
D and E.
For D&E.
For items D and E.
Yes, sir.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7, bids, contracts, present, discuss, consider, and possibly take action regarding discussion and possible action to solicit requests for qualifications from an executive search firm for the city manager.
All right. I move that we prepare an RFQ for an executive search firm to go out for the city manager and if possible have that RFQ include capacity for assisting administratively with the city's operations as well.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Saldana, I have a second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7B, discussion possible action on the updated contract. Oh, I'm sorry, real quick, and I don't know if I can still ask that question, but what is the timeline for an RFQ? What's the quickest timeline to go out for? Because I know it takes longer for the actual search, but to get this down, how long do we have to have it out there?
Have it out next week. Jocelyn's the one that prepares them, right, Jonas?
I wasn't so worried
How
about the
long do they have to be
preparation.
out
How
there?
long do they have to be?
Oh,
14
I'm
days,
sorry.
30 days?
Yeah, it usually runs 2 weeks.
15 days.
Okay, whatever the shortest amount of time is, and if people don't apply, they don't apply, but we need to get on
It'll
that
go
part.
up
So,
on the website.
yeah, I don't want to hurry up the search, but I do want to hurry up
I want to get it out as
the
quick as
search.
we
Yeah,
can,
yeah. All right, item B, discussion possible action on the updated contracts with Border Affairs and for grant writing services.
Mayor, I make a motion to table this item. As you know, on Tuesday, we went out and we passed an item to look at the cost analysis of what it would take to bring in an in-house grant writer. I think at the moment, what we need to do is wait till we get that study back to look at the cost effectiveness of bringing a position in-house versus what we're currently paying to outsource her.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez.
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Garcia. Discussion.
Discussion, Mayor. So, in regards to Tuesday's meeting, I know that we've been talking about saving money, looking into an in-house engineering service and in-house grant writer. I feel like the city of Mercedes has come a long way since we first got elected from 2021 to 2026. I feel that with this day and age, considering that we have all kinds of technology available to us and a capable staff that does a lot of the legwork on the grant writing, we can easily look into what the cost analysis would be to have a grant writer in-house. Currently, a lot of the cities neighboring our city also have an in-house grant writer. So I feel that if we're going to be the city that continues to move forward, we should consider something like that and look at both costs to see what would make sense for us moving forward as far as grant writing is concerned.
Any other discussion? So from my part, I just want to be clear on your action here.
Yes, sir.
So this is going to leave us without grant management. if
My
we don't have a
understanding is
contract.
we already have no grant management after the last one didn't go because
That's why it's, that's why it's on here. So let me just, let me finish my thought. So we're in essence in the middle of some very large grants, some of which we need to kind of fix the operation of them and the management of the grants, number one. Number two, I don't have an issue with looking, but I don't want to be without grant management because what comes with grants, and if you talk to those cities that do have a grant writer, there is a lot of work that is associated to that grant writer. I used to work with the ones in McAllen and Hardee's, all the bigger cities that had them. So I'm not against that. But what I'm telling you, we're going to go into it. It's not just a matter of hiring some kid out of college and paying them $56,000 to put in applications for, no offense to the fire and the police, the grants for getting a vest doesn't equal to going to get funds from the congressman or the state or earmarks or Texas Water Development Board or any of that stuff. That requires a lot of legwork, regardless of who you hire as a as your grant person. But hiring one person here is not going to replace the work that that having a company that does it brings with them. Most of the companies that I know of and will have a team of people that works on grants and manages them and controls them and make sure that you're keeping up with things, contacting, liaisoning with the governments that you're asking for those earmarks for. There's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not just a guy or girl sitting there plugging numbers into an account. I think
Well, if I may, Mayor,
we need to heavily look at before we cancel an account. If we want to search and go out and look and all this stuff, if that's what the commission wants, that's fine. But I would very much warn us against not having the coverage of the contract. Now, the current one is Border Affairs. I get it. If any of y'all have issues with them or whatever, you can take it up at a time when it's necessary. But for right now, I don't think it's good leaving us without grant writing capabilities.
Well, if I may, Mayor, I mean, I completely understand your point of view. The thing is I was hoping that we would have the representative of Border Affairs here. I don't see him in the crowd. And for the amount of money that we're paying, I haven't seen him. And that begs the question of what are we paying for? And that's what I was hoping to look at when you do the cost analysis of an in-house versus an outsource. And I was hoping to get some of those questions answered today, maybe to ease my mind, but I don't see the representative here today. So that's where my thinking was just, okay, what is the scope of work and are we capable to do it? And maybe we're not, you're right. But I was just hoping to get some of those answers or some of those questions answered tonight, but I don't believe that the representative is here.
But
Do we do we have concurrent coverage? I mean, are they going to continue supporting grants for the city while we do this analysis or not?
well, that's the point I'm making. I don't, if we're gonna search, I assure you, we're not gonna search, find an office, put them in a place, buy all their computers, get them the staff that they need, the support that they need, create the software for what they need in a year. And that's what it takes to run a grant group. In my office and my grant side, I only did the numbers, which is what the city does. And I had 3 people working on my grants to make sure that you were self-auditing, that you were keeping up with what you have, that you were counting the equipment that you had, and somebody was keeping up with that aside from going out for the grant. So I would caution us that we leave ourselves uncovered while we do the search. I voted for, I got no problem looking at it, what it costs us to start from scratch. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is not being covered while we're doing
But
it.
that's what was my question tonight. What I've seen in the contract and what I've seen in what we've been billed is consulting services. What does that entail? We're paying $84,000 a year at minimum, 7% off the top on every grant that comes in. What are we getting for that money? That is a question that needs to be answered. And I don't see anybody here from that
Well,
organization.
And
here.
I can't answer about them being here. I don't know that we
but
invited them.
you get what I'm
But I
saying?
can
Like,
tell you that they've come up here numerous times and explained everything you just asked. We went through that with the last group that was here.
because we
We
called
went
them.
through it again.
But when was the last time we seen them?
they used to come all the time, but I'm not here again. I'm not trying to defend the group. I'm trying to defend grant writing, period,
I
for
agree.
the agency. And to leave us uncovered is just would be irresponsible on our part.
But that's what I'm.
Now, if
that's
you
what I'm
don't
implying,
want
Mayor.
them there, if you want to go back out and go again until we hire our own, then we go for it. But right now, we currently have a contract that is in front of us to continue the grant while we're working on grants. And I don't think that killing it is the wisest idea. Now, if you have an issue with them because they're not here, then when it's contract time again, we go out for RFQs and start all over again. I don't have a
No,
problem
man,
with that.
it's not about not being here. It's just
That's all
you
you
get
said.
no because you get paid $7,000 a month, and then on top of that, you get 7% off of whatever you bring in. And our staff is doing a lot of the legwork, and everything that I see in that contract and everything I see in the invoices says consulting. So, what is the scope of work? That is the question. Because at the end of the day, it's taxpayer money that's paying for these services. I think we got a right to know, don't we?
Well, I'll just say I don't have the last time I saw a figure on that they brought in somewhere in the neighborhood of $14 million in funding over the course of the years that they've been here. I don't know, last 4 or 5, something like that. And if we want to do an economic analysis, in other words, if we want to compare what we're paying Border Affairs in dollars to what we would pay someone to do grants, well, you're comparing an organization, you know, you're comparing apples and oranges. You know, you're comparing a person that's going to come sit in a chair and do searches on the Federal Register and write grants to an organization that has a lot more capacity. So I don't know what we would pay a grant writer. Maybe we save $10,000 or $15,000 on a salary and not pay them $7,000 a month. But I think we're going to give up. We just got $850,000 from you know, in the earmark money, and that's not on the list either. And that's something that they were intimately involved with. I mean, I'm not opposed to looking for options. I just think it's probably not wise or fair to just compare it in terms of whole dollars, because it's not like you're comparing a Ford to a Chevy. I mean, you've got two different things.
Well, in that same breath, you're right. I mean, they brought in millions of dollars. That's true. But all I'm trying to look at is from 2021 till now, they've earned over $600,000 in total.
And if they bring in 14
And,
million, I'm
okay,
good with
but
that.
we should still be able to look and ask questions in regards to what it is we're paying for. The people have the right to know, especially when we're going to do a cost analysis on if we do it in-house versus if we outsource. I think those are legitimate questions that we should be asking. And that's a pretty number, ain't it? So it's just something that we need to
The
consider.
14 million or the
The
600,000?
600,000, Mayor.
So it's the 14 million.
Okay, but we're doing
And
most
we
of the
have
work.
grants pending today.
We're doing most of the work.
That's how it works everywhere you go.
Okay, so what? We can't
does
find
the-
a
does the
cheaper
attorney
way
do
to
all the
do
work?
it?
Yes.
We
if
can't
you-
find a way to do
yeah,
it
but
ourselves.
not with one person. The math you're doing with one person doesn't equate to what we get when you have an organization that does it for you. Again, go back to if you want a different organization because you're not happy with these guys, then we go out again.
I just want to
And
know
if
what
you-
we're paying for, Mayor. That's what I want to know.
You're asking to
Because what I see is consultant services. What does that entail? Does that justify a $600,000 WAP from 2021 to
If
2026?
you ask me, yes. If you ask me, yes, it does. If you're making $14 million out of it, because that's why we hired them in the first place. Because what we were getting before wasn't. And that's not the argument. The argument is, and I know everybody thinks, again, I used to think the same thing until I managed it. I used to think that I did all the work, but that's not how it works. There's a whole nother side to it. But the agency is always going to provide the information, always. The consultant's work is very different, and the managing of it is different, and keeping up with the dates is different, and making sure everybody shows up is different. All that is different. But anyway, I think most of us have had a say. Mondo or Rolando?
Question, in regards to some of the grants that they've already submitted with the Border Affairs, has everything already that they've already submitted, has everything already been awarded, or are there some things pending?
No, there's lots pending.
And if there's something pending, what are the root causes of things not being awarded? What's the delay?
The awards are
We got a
managed by
$500,000
whoever
grant
the,
with Parks that's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
under review. That's just one I can think of right off the bat.
Most grants, it's not, the holdup isn't with us here or anything. It's whoever the granting is. But applying for the grant is part of it. Receiving the grant is part of it. And putting the grant into operation is part of it. And then somebody manages all three of those.
Right, but is there something that needs to be implemented and pushed forward that maybe there's information missing pending on the applications that can't be processed yet? Is there anything like that missing?
Pending grants, you mean?
Yeah, to get awarded.
I don't know.
Errors.
Oh, well, I mean, the errors, we wouldn't know until the grant, the grant.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
the
It has to get
agency.
here.
Yeah.
I don't
Most
know
of it-
if what you're asking is like,
Yeah.
is something pending, like somebody's done something wrong and we're waiting. That's not it. You submit the grant, then you get it. Either you get it or you don't. The quality of what you submit for
Mhm.
is part of it, where they're building the grant for you.
Right.
Sometimes you get a grant like the fire truck ones where you fill it all out. And
Right.
the fire truck, it's his numbers to get it done, and then somebody manages that grant. The grant application, that's why I was telling Commissioner Martinez, getting somebody to apply for grants is not a big deal. That's not hard. And they're not super, those specifically are not super expensive. But the managing of the grant is
Yeah.
what takes.
No, and I was just wondering if there was something pending that's been aging already in that's already been in limbo that hasn't been resolved for
I know.
for the awarding aspect of it.
There's what I understand, Commissioner, is there's the grants are in 3 different categories. There's grants that have been submitted and awarded, right? There's grants that have been submitted where we're waiting to hear back whether they're going to be awarded or not. And then there's grants that we submitted and we did not get the money. And that's kind of how it works in the grant world. You know, you submit, and all of them count in my view, because you don't know. You just it's unrealistic and unfair to have the expectation that everything you submit is going to get awarded. So you have to plan on not getting some grants and not let that discourage you, because that's kind of happens all the time. So that's what I would say. I don't know if that helps with the question that you had, but that's
Okay.
the way it works. And then, you know, your I guess your reputation as a grant writer, I would suppose, rests with what your percentage is. You know, I mean, how many of the grants you write that are awarded, and how many. I mean, if you've got a 10% success rate, then maybe you need to go look for another grant writer. And if you've got a 90%, well, then I don't. I've never seen anybody do that, but it's usually somewhere in the middle.
And that's what I'm saying. We got some questions that need to be answered, and I need somebody here that answer those, because that's a very good, fair, valid point to find out what is the success rate overall. Have we missed any grants or any? Those are questions that need to be answered, and I feel like we need to really pan that out. And while we do this other side too. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
And I just have something else. It's just more of a legal in regards to this company. Does it become a conflict of interest if we are working with an individual working under other entities? Would that be a conflict?
It depends what the entities, if they're competing entities, I mean, you could argue that, you know,
Different services under different umbrellas, different services, but same individual. And I just want to make sure that we're good, that there's no conflict of interest in that regards.
if you want to get me the exact concern, I mean, I can bring that back and
Okay.
we can look into it and make sure that there's no conflict anywhere for.
Well, I think that that's a valid point now that you bring it up, because there is a clause in the contract about a conflict of interest clause. So my question would have been to him is, if you pursue a grant under the City of Mercedes for the Public Utilities Agency, which you currently sit on as the interim director, are you compensated for that role, number one? And number two, if by getting a grant that you've gone for that benefits the PUA, does it benefit you as well? Those are questions that need to be asked, because we just want to make sure that we're on the up and up, if that's what you're alluding to on the conflict of interest.
I'm still trying to figure out the
I just-
processing. So
yeah,
I
I-
can, if I'm a consultant,
There's just
and I know, but now this has turned into an accusations, and these are strong accusations. When somebody breaks that, it's a fine line between saying somebody's doing something illegal or not, right? And that's the question that's being posed here.
With all due
And I don't
respect,
think
Mayor,
we're not gonna
No. There's no.
accusing somebody
No,
of
wait,
of
wait, wait.
of
There's-
getting
there's-
paid
wait,
and
no, no,
double
no,
dipping
no.
and
There's
all
no.
that
There's no
stuff.
accusation here, because truth or not truth, does this individual that is the owner of Border Affairs sit on the PUA? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay, so that's truth.
not as a board member though,
No, not as a board member, but he is the interim director.
right?
So all I want to know is, are you compensated for that role? Is there because there is a conflict of interest clause in the contract. So I'm looking out for him and all of us together. If you pursue a grant for the Public Utility Agency under the city of Mercedes, are you compensated for that role? Will you get anything for getting that grant? Because as it is right now, you already get 7% off the top from that particular grant. If you sitting on the PUA, are you going to benefit from getting that grant? That's
we're
what
di-
I'm saying.
So I don't know that we're getting off the scope here, but I'm concerned because we've opened up a heck of a can of worms here. And at the end of the day, the who gets compensated where they're at was worked out at the time that we made the contract for the PUA. If somebody applied, if he is our grant writer here and he writes a grant for the city of Mercedes, that's what the contract is for him. If he does a Weslaco or the PUA or the city of Brownsville and he applies for a grant over there that is part of the process of ours, that is a separate grant. Now, if he's applying on our grant and then he asks us to pay him for something that he already got paid for on that same grant, that's a conflict of interest. But when he went to the PUA, that's only for stuff that goes on in the PUA. It has nothing to do with our grant is our grant. As a matter of fact, he's our grant writer, and we went out and used somebody else to go out for our grant.
Granted,
He
but
wasn't even on it.
but
So
there
he's
are-
not making any money off of anything going to the PUA.
No, that's not necessarily so, because there's invoices from February 2026 where he's doing consulting services for the PUA, and we're being charged for that. And it's not just meeting with our city; it's meeting with various cities. And I understand it's under the scope.
No,
of the
you don't
PUA.
understand those. Those have to do with the getting all of the cities signed a contract, and he is working to get the PUA, which is who he's working for over there, to make sure that those meetings are being run for his position over there. It's no different than him going to work for Weslaco. The PUA is its own organization that we're simply a part of, but he's not getting paid both by us and by them. It's a pooling of money that he's getting paid. That's why I'm saying we're going down a slippery slope.
Okay,
If y'all
but Mayor,
have,
that's why those questions need to be
no,
asked.
she's the one that needs to answer those questions. She
We're
does.
the council. We have a right to ask too. We're
That's an
representing people
accusatory
every
question.
night.
She's the one you need to ask if there's a conflict of interest. We should have, if we allowed a conflict of interest, then it's on us.
Oh, no. I'm saying that was my question in regards to conflict.
And I'm
of interest.
answering you. It's on us. It's not on them. Their job is to come and tell us where they're at. It's not like they're holding a secret. A conflict of interest where you sign the letters, where you hide that from people. But if it's out in the open, that's not it would be on us. So guys, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, Marty, but at the end of the day, what we have here is we have a contract for grants. Joe, Commissioner, you spoke your concerns. I said mine, Commissioner Saldana said his. I'll allow a couple more times. You already gave us 2 or 3 questions. Mondo, do you got anything before we call for a vote?
My only concern, Mayor, is if we do anything, if we act on anything, if we're gonna be without a grant writer, anybody to help manage any grants, if we need to go ahead and I would say, approve the contract for now and go out, as we approved last week, to go and start searching to do something in-house. At this point, I think we need to start looking to do in-house. I don't think we're ready yet to do in-house, but within the next year or so, I think so. But at least start getting a look and a feel of what it's going to cost to have something. But at this point, I think we can't be. It would be detrimental to the city if we're without somebody to help manage and process.
Okay, so everybody got a chance at it. Rolando, you're the last one that only had one thing. You got anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay, so currently we have what was your motion again, Commissioner? I'm sorry.
It was to go ahead and table the item at least till we were able to come back with a study and do the comparison cost.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to table the item. All those in favor say aye.
Ma'am, ask one.
Yes.
I've asked it, Commissioner Garcia asked it a certain way. I want a definitive answer. Is if we table this, does he continue to serve in does Border Affairs continue to support the city's grant writing capability?
We had told him no, right?
So, no. I think that we've
Because if
got,
the answer that's yes, my vote was one way, and if the answer that's no, it's a different.
because there is no contract, so there's two drafts already that have been presented to Board of Affairs for consideration. There is no current contract, and there was a monthly service fee that the city was paying. And so if there is no action today, there will be no contract, so no monthly fee will be paid to them unless the council directs otherwise. There's no contract.
So we won't have grant writers if we don't approve this today.
That's correct.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to table this. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, aye.
I'm voting no on that.
All right, okay, let me show of hands so we can quiet. All those opposed? All those for? Okay, so 3-2, the item,
Okay, I'm gonna need direction on the contract.
right, so now so do they now, if we want to move forward with the contract, we gotta vote on that now, this original one, right?
Yes.
All right, so the motion and second, die for lack of vote, 3-2. So I now read this again, discussion possible action on updated contract with Border Affairs for grant writing services.
Mr. Mayor, I know that contract was being negotiated. Can a motion be made to approve this subject to both parties agreeing to language? Because I don't have a contract in front of me and I don't know what's different from this one from the last one.
Yes, so that was the previous action that was taken, and so we were in the middle of negotiations and then we had a administration change. So you can move to have the city manager enter into negotiating and bring it back, or negotiate and accept the contract. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, I can you
Um,
handle it, chief? All right, so, all right, so the issue here is to make a motion. Well,
Well,
go ahead.
my motion would be to authorize the city manager with guidance from the city attorney to discuss terms of a contract with Border Affairs, between the city and Border Affairs.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Saldana, second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Show of hands. Nay. 3-2. Item passes. I believe we already finished the executive session, correct?
No, we need to take action on 8A.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're correct, yeah.
9A.
9A. All right, so item 9A, discussion and take possible action regarding settlement offer in COM versus Fujarte. Do you have the numbers, or do we need to read the numbers, right?
No, just pursuant to what was discussed.
Discussion executive.
Okay.
Approved settlement.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the settlement offer for this legal action as discussed in executive session.
I have a motion by Dr. Saldana. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by, it was a tie. Commissioner Martinez, you get the second one. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I have a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, Mayor.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Saldana. I heard that one. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. It is 8:31 p.m.
Early.
Oh, anybody mind?